Hello YouTube and welcome back to week 10 of the NFL season. Today we're going to be going over the showdown slate between the Ravens and the Dolphins. I'm going to be breaking down kind of each position, my favorite plays, favorite value plays, a couple of the best punt plays on the slate, and kind of build some lineups with my favorite captains. And then I'm also, kind of like I did last video, going to go through my player groups just so you can kind of see like how I'm building lineups when I'm building like 150 lineups. So I can kind of set my rules as to what I want to happen in each lineup. And I'm actually going to start out with going over my groups because this is what goes into deciding all of my lineups. So starting out, I'm making a rule on this slate. I will have Lamar Jackson in every single lineup. He's the most expensive player, but I just don't see a way, especially on a Thursday night game where it can be a little low scoring. I think you're going to want to have like all the points you can get, and I just don't see how Lamar doesn't get there, barring any injuries. So I'm going to have him, whether it's in the captain or the flex, in every lineup. The second rule I made, and this is actually normally just like a running back rule in general, but I'm not playing any of the Ravens running backs on the slate. If you can see, I excluded them here. I just think, especially if Latavius Murray returns, which it's sounding like he will, you have Murray, Freeman, Le'Veon Bell, and because Murray was out, Freeman and Le'Veon Bell got priced way up, and now they're all way too expensive, and they all eat into each other. And I think they're all very, very bad plays on this slate. But I think Gaskin at 9.4 is actually like a really good value, and so is even Ahmed. He's one of the best punt plays on the slate at 800. He's the RB2 right now in the Dolphins backfield, and he's gotten like 7 carries in those last 3 games, and then he sprinkles in a target or 2 there. So that's my next group, and so I want to have at least one of them, and I don't mind having both of them in the same lineup just because Ahmed could have like 5 points and be in the winning lineup technically. So I'm fine with that. Next rule I made is I want exactly one of Marquise Brown or Andrews in every single lineup. Lamar Jackson it's rare that they kind of both go off in one game. That's why my next rule is like using at most one. You can kind of see that right here. In this one, I have use exactly one, and then I copied that rule and made it to where I only use at most one of those players. And that's just because Lamar usually kind of just features one of them in a game. It's rare that they both have like these ceiling games, and especially at their price tags, it would just be really hard for both of them to get there. The only way it happens to where like I think both of them could be in the winning lineup is where the Ravens just completely onslaught the Dolphins, and there's like very few, if maybe one Dolphin player that you have to have, because you always have to play at least one player from one of the teams. And on these showdown slates, I really try to make stands. Like I'm not trying to just play everybody at captain, play everybody in the flex, and just kind of just build 150 lineups. Like I'm really condensing my player pool. I'm completely fading certain players, and I'm really trying to build as many lineups as I can with my favorite plays on the slate. So that's kind of how I build these groups. My next one is I want at most one of Bateman and Watkins. Because of how involved Marquise Brown and Mark Andrews are in the offense, it's usually one of Andrews or Marquise Brown that's going to have the good game, and then sometimes it's like a secondary Raven that also has a good game, but it's rare that you'd see like Bateman, Watkins, and like Marquise Brown all having a game. It just rarely happens on this Ravens offense because they do run the ball a lot as well. Next rule I have is I kind of make it on every slate. And I actually did not make this rule in that Steelers-Bears game because the total was under 40. So I actually let the lineups build where you could have like 2 kickers or a kicker and a defense in your lineup. But on the majority of slates, I always make it a rule to where I only have at most one of a defense or a kicker in a single lineup. And I'm fading the Dolphins defense on this slate. They're not looking that great. I think they could actually keep this game like maybe somewhat close, maybe a backdoor cover, but I'm not playing the Dolphins D on this slate. But now let's go into actually building some lineups. So Lamar is going to be my favorite captain. I mean, it's going to be everyone's favorite captain, but rightfully so. So if I have Lamar in the captain, I'll kind of do one with Marquise Brown and then one with Mark Andrews. So we'll do this one with Marquise Brown first. I'm going to want to get a running back. I always like to play at least one running back in every showdown slate. It's really rare that at least one running back on a slate is not in the optimal line. Gaskin's my favorite on the slate. With Malcolm Brown being out, Gaskin's kind of been like the bell cow. We saw him get 20 carries, which, I mean, 34 yards. That's pretty pathetic. But still 6 targets, and he got there. We got a rushing touchdown. He's kind of been the bell cow for the Dolphins. And especially if Tua's out, they'll probably try to lean on him again on this Thursday night game. So I do like Gaskin for the volume he gets. Certainly better than all of the Ravens running back plays, 100%. And then, let's see. It seems like on the slate, a lot of the value is coming on the Dolphins side of the ball. So the way I might try to get different on this slate is, because everyone's going to be playing Lamar in the captain, and they're probably trying to fit a bunch of Ravens, maybe a Ravens running back, Marquise Brown or Andrews, and they'll probably have like 4 Ravens, 3+ Ravens. But I think you can get away with like doing like Lamar to Marquise Brown and then a bunch of Dolphins, because I think there's way more value on the Dolphins side. So let's put Gesicki in this one. The Ravens are like bottom 2, bottom 3 in the league in points allowed to the tight end position. And Gesicki's really turned it on this year. I like him a lot. He's at a really reasonable price at 7.4. So what is that? Wow, you only have $750 per position. So you would kind of have to punt. Honestly, maybe I want to get away from Lamar on this slate. Like, now that I just built a lineup where it forced you almost to play 2 punt plays, maybe Lamar is not the most optimal captain on this slate, just because look at that, he's over 20K in the captain. Like, in order for him to pay that off, like, you're gonna need him to get like 30+ fantasy points. But let's see if it's possible, like how we can build a Lamar captain. We're probably gonna have to get like Ahmed in there, so maybe we get the whole rushing attack on the Dolphins side. Get Ahmed and Gaskin, and then that leaves you 4,000 remaining. We can try to get the Dolphins kicker. So you're getting all of like the scoring on the Dolphins side through the running game and the kicking. And then you have 4,700 left. I guess you could fit in like, I don't know, I guess Matt Collins would fit in there. You could go really down to Albert Wilson and leave 4,300. Not a lot of people are going to do that. It's probably not the best way to go about it. And after building one Lamar lineup, I'm honestly realizing he's probably not my favorite captain, just because of how limited it gets you in the remainder of your lineup. But like, okay, even Mark Andrews, that saves you quite a bit going down. So Mark Andrews, Lamar, we could probably fit Gaskin in here, get one of Waddle or Gesicki. I'm going to lean Gesicki. I think I like him a little bit more than Waddle this week, just because of the matchup against the Ravens. $3,100 left. So now it's a little more feasible. So you could fit in a kicker. So you could get let's see, the Dolphins kicker, and then you have $2,800 left. That allows you to fit in Albert Wilson. I could go to Ahmed, who's probably my favorite value off of first glance at 800, being the RB2. So yeah, this one you leave 2,000, and it's a pretty solid lineup. Like, you're not having to punt 2 entire positions. You're only having to do it on 1. Now let's go into a Myles Gaskin. So with Myles Gaskin, like I said, I still want to get Lamar in there. With Gaskin in the captain, probably wouldn't want to use Ahmed in the flex, just because like if Gaskin's really going to have like a ceiling game, Ahmed's probably really not doing much at all. He's probably not vulturing a touchdown. Let's still get in one of Marquise Brown or Andrews. I'm going to go with Andrews with the value there. We can get Gesicki in there, and then you have 2,900 left. I think this is going to be another one of those slates where I'm really going to like the kickers and defenses at their prices. Like, if you just look, you have Tucker, Sanders, and Ravens D around an average of 4K. Let's look at other 4K plays around him. There's nobody at the running back, but like even the Ravens running backs are more expensive than that. The wide receiver position, Matt Collins is the only, and even like Watkins and Bateman ahead of them are pretty much the same play as like a kicker or defense. It's not like they're that much better of a play. There's no tight ends in that price range. Like, this is going to be a slate where I'm going to want to play a ton of the kickers and a ton of the defenses. Again, a max of one in the lineup, but I'm going to want to have probably at least one in like every lineup. We'll put Tucker in this one. And then you have $1,900 left. We'll put in this one, we can put in like Albert Wilson. You know, he's at least seeing a few targets every single game. He saw 2 last game. The value is definitely not really there on this slate. You just kind of, I honestly think Lamar captain lineups, after building them in this video, like, I'm going to want to fade that. I'm not going to want to do that just because of how much you have to punt those last 2 plays. So now we'll go into some of the Dolphins pass catchers to wrap this up. So we got Waddle, and these two are kind of look the same. So if I get Waddle in there, I'm going to want to get Brissett or Tua. I'm still going to want to get Lamar. We'll go ahead and fit Andrews in there. And you have $2,600 left. We'll go ahead and get Ahmed in this one because we can't afford Gaskin. Then you have $4,400 left, and that allows you to get, I don't know, we'll get the Dolphins kicker. And that one you leave $1,100, which is pretty solid. I actually like that build quite a bit. And Gesicki, same thing. Like, it's pretty much the same line. You just save a little more salary. You save $2,300. You can rotate Sanders out for Ravens D or Tucker, any one of those 3. After building some lineups here, I think you still play Lamar. You play him in the flex, but I think my stand on this slate is I'm going to fade him in the captain. I think there's more value on the Dolphins side in this slate. The Ravens, they priced way too high, especially at the running backs. And even the receivers, like Bateman is all right, I guess, at $6K, but with Watkins being back, like, they kind of eat into each other a little bit. Yeah, I like the Dolphins side a little more condensed on the offensive side. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thought of this slate in a more strategic perspective. If you could please leave a like, comment your favorite captain play, and subscribe. It'll help out the channel a ton. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for the top 10 plays under 5% on the main slate. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.